Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jolt podcast this week. My name is Natalie Ledwell.
And I'm Susan Patrick.
And we have a very special guest because who you are listening to this week is the dream team that is running the Real Joy Retreats. So we want to welcome Dr. Diane Kaiser. How are you, darling?
Diane is in the house.
Puts cake on. Invite you to put your own on as well. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be. So happy is not the right word. So joyful. So excited. It's filled with life to be here with you ladies and everybody who's listening.
Well, you're going to understand by the end of this podcast how this group of wonderful women came together to create the Real Joy Retreat experience that we are going to be hosting coming up here in October in Pamul in Mexico. And we're just so excited about what we're creating and the invitation that we're making to a really beautiful curated group of women, and so what we wanted to do is we wanted to spend a minute kind of talking about and introducing you to the genius that is Dr. Kaiser. Her entire life is dedicated to helping you feel good. It's that sense of you deserve to feel good. And so do you want to talk a little bit about kind of your area of expertise? And then we're going to talk about, and it'll obviously be why it links right into this dream team.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I want to clarify, when you guys think Mexico, some people are like, oh, Mexico, it's so dangerous. I can't go down there. Where's that? And so there's a reason, that Susan and I live down here. It's in Quintana Roo. So Pamul is a beautiful sacred beach. It's private, and that's where we're hosting the retreat. It's about an hour and a half south of Cancun. So it's so beautiful. There's a lot of expats here. There's a lot of people that are just like you listening. So it's not one of those scary places. Some people get turned off about Mexico. We're like, no, this place is full of joy.
and magic.
Yes.
Magic. And we'll talk about how this all came to manifest or will manifest in a minute. But yeah, my journey, and I'm a doctor now. I'm a board certified doctor of traditional naturopathy, which means that we like to use nature first, and it's like, what are women? When we think about what women are, it's like we are nature, we are nurture, we're the pollinators, we're the creators, we're the co-creators, and we do best when we're connected to our source, which is nature. And so I like to, as much as possible, and it's nothing against prescription medications or Western medicine. I think that everything has its place, but we like to start first with nature. And so, because a lot of people are so disconnected from that. And when we bring back the elements of, and this sounds a little woo-woo hippie, but we really do need the sun. That's where we get like 70% of our energy. That's where our cells make mitochondria. So people who are like, gosh, I really wish I could feel some joy. I'm like, well, go sit in the sun and maybe your cells get charged, So that's number one, step away from the screens. But I like to try to, especially now in menopause, keep it as simple as possible because our lives have become so complicated, so that sometimes it's not a matter of like, what do I take? What do I do? As a health detective, I like to ask the question, what do we undo? Because for me, I had plans. They were making me sick.
I love that. I love that because how many of us feel like I don't have the capacity to do anything else? And so that invitation to undo some things really feels so much lighter.
Yeah, it's like people want to lose weight, but it's like we have to drop the weight of the things that aren't working for us. Then we're just like dead weight, and we're carrying around these things of what we think should work or what we read in a magazine. Do we even have magazines anymore? Well, you heard in a podcast, or what a friend said worked for them, or whatever. And then people come to knocking on my metaphoric door, and I've been doing this for 17 years now, and they're like, "Here's my list of supplements." It's not like one line; it's like a treasury map. It's like. Like, I'm like, how'd you get on 30 supplements? They're like, yeah, but I still feel the same. I'm like, no, let's simplify. Let's figure out why you're sick. Let's figure out what toxins that might be in your environment. What pathogens. I say, do you guys swear on this podcast?
We can.
You can do whatever you want because you joy.
I'm just going to F-bomb. I'm going to say there's 4 things fundamentally that make us feel like shit, and that spells shit. It's stress, hormone imbalances, infections, and toxicity.
Oh, okay. And I'm never going to think about shit the same ever again. I have to take responsibility for my shit, right? Hormones. What's the I?
Infections, because You know, people think antibiotics is the answer, and they just keep getting antibiotic prescriptions, and that's like the number one Western medicine treatment. But then that could lead to antibiotic resistance because it kills your healthy gut microbes. By the way, fun fact, many people don't know this. I was like, why all of a sudden is everybody taking GLP to lose weight? Because I love peptides. I use that in my practice. It's a powerful tool in the toolbox. And I'm like, hold on a second. I like to ask the question why. I'm like, I'm why die? Why?
Yeah.
Dr. Dye says, why? Why are we, air quotes, GLP deficient to begin with? And GLPs are actually peptides that are made by healthy microbes in the gut. But when we take antibiotics and when we eat certain foods like seed oils that are not made by nature, they're very toxic to the gut microbes. And those gut microbes, there's 3 different main ones. Those gut microbes start to die and they can't make healthy GLP anymore, and your body can't lose weight. So I'm like, what if we just populate their gut again with healthy microbes and take away what's killing them? The healthy microbes, which is just antibiotic. I'm like, infections, let's do a parasite cleanse. Let's do some herbs. Let's do it the right way. Let's not kill the body in the process. That's what I mean by shit.
Let's not. I love that. Oh, God.
And hormones. We always think for hormones. My hormones hate me.
Hormones.
No, your hormones don't hate you. It's just because oftentimes we're so toxic and our body competes with xenoestrogens. So I like to simplify.
And I mean, I think our bodies are completely recalibrating, not just our bodies, but our brains and our minds are completely recalibrating, which is why it can be challenging. And I have a friend of mine that says, look, menopause is mandatory, but suffering through it is not.
Amen.
So this is why this dream team came together, because, we were talking about, we're looking at a mind, body, soul.
Yes.
And when we look at what we're creating here and curating as an experience for you, if you choose to come and join us, is understanding what's happening with your body. Understanding or figuring out, daring to dream about what your future could look like or what this next chapter looks like. And if anything has been holding you back, any old programs or any old thought patterns, then we can also, focus on that as well. And then having these experiences where we drop in spiritually with ourselves and each other as a sisterhood and as women. Now, it's not like we've got, a jam-packed thing where you're on the go all the time. We also want to make sure that when you're getting these, having these workshops and getting this information, that you have the space to either, discuss it amongst each other as a conversation, or to have some time away where you can sit down with a journal and have that white space and that clear-headedness to be able to journal about it and think about where you want your life to go. It's like a complete and utter reset of everything.
Yes, hit that. And I have to go back to something that you were talking about, Diane, with about nature, real, nurture, and really why this retreat kind of was born is I've been living in Mexico for 11 years, and I've been threatening to kind of throw a retreat. And I go to different all-inclusives, and I'm like, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. And then I'm remodeling my home right now, and I've had the chance to actually live in my friend's home in Pumwall because she was out vacationing with her son and her family, and we would been living there for several months. And I went to this virgin beach. It's a virgin beach, people, where you go out, you look to your left, you don't see anybody. You look to your right, you don't see anybody. And I was standing on this beach, and I said to my husband, I go, this is unreal. And he goes, you know what, Susan? This is as real as it gets. He said, not long ago, where this was available to all of us as human beings, you could just walk outside your front door and you could be in real nature, in a real space. And when he said the word real, it was as if my feet just bound themselves like roots, grew through them. And I felt kind of the frequency of this virgin beach. And I was like, this is where real joy needs to be born.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want to bring people back to. And man, I get the chills just talking about it, because what a privilege.
It's funny because when you and I were talking about that day, sorry, now I'll just say one thing.
You're right.
You and I were looking around, like, people use the term unreal. And we're so programmed to say unreal, and it's like, no, or this is unbelievable, or this is unreal. Like, this can't be real. No, it's real, and we need to celebrate nature for her realness as much as we can before we lose it, because we are not celebrating it. That's why my main mission is for people to come back to themselves, because we're coming back to our nature so we can reconnect to nature and we don't destroy nature, and we become harmonious with it again, and harmonious with it again.
Yay, yes. Harmonious.
That's awesome.
I love it.
And the other thing too, like this is not the kind of time where you come down and you're going to be exhausted by the end of it. Because not only will you be like completely relaxed in your body, emotionally regulated, your nervous system is going to be calm, but we will also be teaching you how to take that back home with you. So that you can carry that back into your life, because, as we've said before, I don't think the world is calming down anytime soon. We are on for the ride, and it is a very interesting time in history right now. And if you've been feeling super stressed and out of control and overwhelmed, then what we're going to do is equip you with how to navigate this world in a way that you can keep your nervous system regulated, that you can keep your emotions regulated, that you can tap into your joy every day. And so now life is completely different. You have better choices. You better have better opportunities, because you're resonating at a completely different frequency. Yes. And that's what we're going to be sending you home with.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm going to sign up. Wait, I'm already.
Retreats can also feel like people get nervous. They get intimidated. It's like, oh gosh, there's all these people I don't know. It's a blind spot. And people can convince themselves out of going because they feel like, oh, I'm not one of you gals that's on the screen right now, or I don't have my shit together, or God, I'm going through so much. I don't want people to see me like this. Like, we're all human right now.
Yes, we are.
We're all going through this together. I mean, I was crying on the floor this whole week because my dog isn't doing well. So I'm a human too, and we're all human here. Susan's been sick. Nat just went through what she went through with her mom, and we're just like you. And so this is feeding us as much as it's feeding you. And that's what we want women to remember, is that we pollinate each other. We share with each other, and it's a regenerative relationship. So this is going to be one of those ones where it's not like, oh, it's one of those women who thinks she's better than everyone else. So she talks down to me. No, this is real. This is real women.
Real. This is really real. Like, really real.
So, Diane, do you want to share a little bit about some of the things you'll be covering at the retreat and helping women with?
Yes. It's my favorite thing to do. And Sue and I were talking about this before we even got on the call. It's like some of the calls that Sue's had with you guys, you gals. It's like, where are these people coming from? My question is, where are these people coming from? Where are these women hearing about us? Because I know a few of my ladies have signed up, and I'm excited to meet you, because we could be back here behind our screens and doing Zoom calls and doing live things, and people may have, and we're leaders, and we're doing this because we want you to lead yourself, like we're talking about this retreat. But we could be leaders, but we've never met you in person. Like some of you, you know us from the work that we do, but how cool that we get to hug those of you who come, and we get to look you in the eyes and say, yay, you're my sister, and we get to do this together. So that's my favorite part of helping women, is to remind them that they have a home inside of their own hearts and how to plug back into that. So that's first and foremost. And that's why, the S is in the shit, because we get stressed out when we are spread too thin, and so many are right now, and they're forgetting, who they are, or their mission, or, what they're, because the things that we come here to do, they're sometimes bigger than us, and they pull us. And that's the vision that we have for you, is that you have a different sense of purpose and being, because that actually increases oxytocin and reduces cortisol. I mean, talk about like HRT. You could be your own HRT with your own purpose-driven mission. And it's also hard to feel like you love your life. It's hard to connect to joy when you are absolutely exhausted, when your cortisol is low. That is why I look at hormones too. We're not going to be doing lab tests and everything when you guys are here, although I'm happy to talk about it with you ladies, because most doctors, in allopathy, they may test, and usually it's about a fourth of the amount of hormone markers that we test in our ministry. I've been lab testing people all around the world. We ship labs directly to people, and we look at 2 times more amount of markers to see what's really going on from a perspective of, oh, is your TSH off? Here, take some Synthroid. It's like, well, maybe your body is actually producing antibodies to your thyroid because you have toxins and infections, And if we eliminate those toxins and those infections, then maybe your body will stop attacking itself and therefore not make enough or stop producing too much of your thyroid hormone. So sometimes HRT can help, and it can be a shortcut for some. But for the most part, women are walking around going, oh, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, or I have this, and my doctor put me on this medication for life. And I'm like, your body, and this is what I want all women to understand, your body is a beautiful, it's a mechanism of communication. It is a feedback loop. It's trying to speak to you the way a baby would speak to you, or cry if it was hungry or if it was in pain. We have not been taught how to listen to the whispers before they try to scream.
That is our body. That is our body. We're listening to the yelling of everyone around us. But listen to the whispers of our bodies so that we can start being the mother to ourselves that we always wish we had. Right?
Yes.
So that really is what a beautiful invitation. You know?
Yeah. So like we always talk about taking care of the future of our children. I'm like, well, that starts with taking care of the inner child of us. You know, what is screaming for help? What is yearning for love and connection and joy? And it's like, give your body that, because like Sue always says, she's like overflowing all the time with love and joy and giving it to everybody. She's a joy pollinator. I'm over here many days like, oh my God, I need to fill up. Hey, Sue, can you come over here and fill me up? And I'm exhausted over here. Joyful. So we have moments too, and I'm on HRT, I'm in menopause, you know, so I know what that looks like, that transition. It's like, okay, I'm kind of done with the bullshit. I just want to simplify life. And what am I not willing to put up with? That's what I like to talk about, the stress. Anyway, that's a little bit more of going into both of your lanes. I'll go into the infections and toxicity. What we can talk about at the retreat as well is I've been leading parasite cleanses for decades.
Yeah, and I want to say, Diane, that was one of the things that one of the women that I just talked to. And again, if you're interested in the retreat, and everyone's been talking about, well, Susan's been talking to people, how do you get there? Well, visit realjoyretreats.com, fill out the inquiry form, and I'll give you a personal phone call, and we'll see if you're a right fit for this. But one of the women that I was talking to just yesterday was so excited because she's been in relationship with you for years. And she's like, I've gone through her parasite protocols and her cleanses. And it's like, and I loved how she was really speaking about you with just such an energy of already, you haven't met her, but friendship, you know? And so it's going to be fun for you to meet her when she that
just warms my heart to know. It's like, because we're behind these screens and we never know who's listening. But oftentimes it's like, I feel like sometimes I'm talking into a wall. Is anybody hearing me? Is anybody doing anything about it? How do you, are you experiencing, better sex, better sleep? Like, but getting to hear back from you matters so much, because your voice does matter. So, doing parasite cleanses is such a big relief, because I feel like when we get rid of the parasites, and everybody has them. If you have a pulse, you have a parasite. If you have a pet, you have a parasite. If you have a child, you have a parasite. Like they're not necessarily bad, but they're bad when they take over, and there's more of them than there are healthy microbes, like the ones I told you earlier, that make GLPs. And so therefore we would need to be poking ourselves with, GLPs. Anyway, and that could be $1,500 a month people pay for. But that's where I like to ground people in reality, that you are your own peptide factory. You make 8,000 a day. You're your own vitamin factory. You're your own oxytocin factory. You can make these things again if we remove the interferences. And so I love to talk about what we could do too. And I could talk with you guys about this in person. Is like toxin assessments. Like, where are the toxins in your environment? Might you have parasites? What are the patterns of those? Because the more parasites we have in our body that are sucking the life out of us, the more that the body frequency will lower. And then we attract people in the form, or parasites in the form of people. And then we allow them to
match that energy, right?
Yeah.
That's all matching energy. And that's why we really are being the invitation of pulling people out of kind of the circumstantial drift of their life. It's not about changing your life. And, when you get back, you're going to still have the same home and your same relationships, but you're going to enter back in with a different perspective, a different energy, a different feeling of grounding. And instead of just getting right back into that drift of your life, you're going to stand in the current for a minute, and you're going to figure out which is the most productive way for me to flow.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'll also You'll be
doing.
excited about your future because
Yes.
we'll help you to figure out what's next or what's
Yeah.
possibly next. And even if you have no idea what that is right now, and you may not have a super clear idea at the retreat, but I'll help you to find what
Yeah.
is the direction that you want to lean in to move towards whatever is going to show up for you, which is amazing.
Well,
So,
I love this.
yeah.
I'm super excited. We're kind of coming to the end of our time, but that doesn't mean that we're coming to the end of our excitement. If you're wanting to learn more about the Real Joy Retreat experience that is going to be coming up in October, this October in Mexico, please log on to Real Joy Retreats. That's with an S. realjoyretreats.com and fill out that inquiry form. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to get to know you and, reach out to us and learn more.
Yeah. So, and if you're listening to this podcast on a platform that is not Substack, we encourage you to come and find us on Substack at thejoyjolt.com.
All right. Dr. Diane's going to be joining us in a deeper conversation that we're plugging into right after this with for our paid subscribers. So if you're not a paid subscriber, go ahead and click to be a part of that community. We'd love to have you. And we're going to be sharing Diane's top 5 suggestions for a healthier, I love what you said, moving through menopause. And then you also said what did you just say? Or something about insides.
Understand.
Understand. So you have a better understanding of yourself.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Thanks for joining.
No one tells me what to do.
I like that. All right. We'll see you all next week.
Bye, everyone.